Hello, everybody. Welcome to Griffon Sports Insider. I'm Ryan Menley. This is Brett Easley, and this is our new show, a weekly look inside of Griffon Athletics.
Weekly features, interviews, and so much more. Great show for you this week. And why, ladies and gentlemen? Because it's Northwest Week.
That's right. The 8th-ranked Griffon football team heads north Saturday to meet the defending national champion, Northwest Bearcats. Northwest 3-1, Western 4-0. But before we look ahead, we first look back at how the Griffons got to 4-0. An impressive last Saturday win against Pittsburgh State. 8th-ranked Missouri Western taking on Pittsburgh State. The Griffons had problems with an invisible wall in the end zone early on. First quarter, Michael Hill tries to take the dive but fumbles. However, David Fowler jumps on it and gets a touchdown. Griffons up 7-0. Later, Andrew Mead takes a leap in the end zone, but he loses the football. That's a touchback. Griffons get no points. Skip to the second quarter. Griffons up 7-6. Drew Newhart going up top for Terrell Downing, who finds end zone gold. A 35-yard scoring strike. Downing 5 catches for 109 yards. Griffons by 8. But the Gorillas answer with 2 unanswered scores of their own. Zach Dickey to Derek Fisher. The ball gets tipped, but Fisher still makes a great touchdown catch. Couple minutes later, Gorillas on the ground attack. Terrence Isaac breaking tackles, goes for a 27-yard touchdown run. Gorillas take an 18-14 lead. They had 358 rushing yards on the night. Griffons answering through the air, though. Newhart, 198 yards passing in the first half alone. Here he hits Andrew Mead, who gets loose and takes a touchdown plunge again. This time he won't lose the ball. Western up 21-18 at halftime. The 2010 Western Hall of Fame class being honored at the break. It featured 4 individuals in the 1977 Griffon football team. The 2010 Griffon football team takes control in the second half. Newhart to Mead again. Mead had 9 catches for 109 yards, and this his second touchdown. Griffons now up by 9. They struggled with the run in the first half, but not in the second half. Michael Hill gets loose and comes right at you. A 22-yard touchdown run. Griffons run to a 42-25 win. Both teams combined for more than 1,100 yards of total offense, but it's the Griffons who run their record to 4-0.
Our offense was rolling on all cylinders there in the first half, and in the second half we came out again on fire. And I guess when you can control the line of scrimmage like we did, and the offensive line blocked pretty well, and the receivers ran right routes, they caught the ball. Everybody was just rolling on all cylinders, and we executed pretty well.
And we're joined now by Griffon head coach Jerry Partridge. Aside from a hiccup or two, the offensive production was pretty darn good. Talk about that performance.
Well, I don't know what hiccups you're talking about. I think we played pretty well. I think the only hiccup maybe is just we have trouble hanging on the football a little bit right now. We're putting it on the ground. We've got to value the ball a little bit more than we're valuing it right now. But I thought we ran the ball well effectively in the second half. I thought Drew Newhart had a terrific football game. Scrambled, made plays. I think the receiving corps did probably as well as I've ever seen them do, adjusting to the scramble and getting in the scramble route mode. I can think of about 3 off the top of my head that were really special plays.
2 wide receivers that had over 100 yards receiving in the football game, Andrew Mead, Terrell Downing. Andrew Mead, not a lot of talk about him in the media after the game, but I thought Andrew looked like his old self. 9 catches, 2 of those for touchdowns, and arguably he could have had 2 more receiving touchdowns. 1 he fumbles and then 1 at the end of the half. Kind of a controversial call, but I thought Andrew really played well.
His junior year he was outstanding. The 2 years ago, 2008, he had as good a season as we've had at receiver. Was dominant, made big plays in the red zone, ran with it after he caught it. Was a big, strong kid. Got hurt. He's starting to become that kid again. I thought he played really well. Needs to stay on the ground a little bit more instead of jumping or trying to jump over the top of people and jumping in the DB's arms. But he played exceptional, and he was one of the stars of the game. I think Michael Hill, Drew Newhart, Andrew Mead, Terrell Downing, those were some special efforts.
Let's talk a little bit more about Drew Newhart. 13 touchdown passes this year to just 1 interception. He's playing his heart out.
Hope you don't jinx him right there by saying that, but he's played well. His only interception, honestly, was against Mesa. And I thought it was pass interference. Adam Klaus in the end zone. They grab both hands. It hits him in the helmet, bounces in the air, and the Mesa kid makes a catch in the back of the end zone. But Drew's played well. He's got a little that gunslinger thing going where he's kind of forcing some things, but things are working out for him. He ran well. We're calling him Chase Daniels after a football game.
Another little look we saw from Drew this week, as you just mentioned, a little bit of the, I don't necessarily know if it's a bootleg look, but it's kind of a belly play. Is that an option on his part, or is that a design run when those are called?
There's some things where he can pull it. I mean, off the zone stuff, and if they close and squeeze, he can pull it and run, and that's what he does. He's going to give it, and then he lets you fall asleep, and he's going to take off running.
defense, maybe a little bit of alarming on the ground. Gave up 358 rushing yards. Just talk about that. Defense has been so good this year, and just had kind of a hiccup or two.
We gave a lot of yards to Washburn, but we kept them out of the end zone defensively, and we had to defend a lot in about the second through third quarter because we kept turning it over, and that's why we had some yards. But against Pitt, a little alarming, but it's not anything that can't be fixed. I'm not that concerned about it. I think we underestimated Pittsburgh's ability to do double teams and move people, and they did a pretty good job. Probably could have helped our kids out with some movement of D linemen in the interior, with my 80s and linebackers. And they had a couple things that were unique and different that our style of defense sometimes doesn't adjust to very well, and they were able to capitalize on it.
Well, we did give up some rushing yards. The defense continues to take the ball away. We lead the MIAA in takeaways, 3 more takeaways against Pittsburgh State.
Well, and again, it's about the scoreboard. And we did give up some yards, but they scored 25 points. And in this day and age, 25 points isn't bad, the way people score. And I'm pretty sure we haven't held Pittsburgh State under that amount since about 2001. So to sit there and say, well, look at all the flaws and beating Pittsburgh State by 17, I think is pretty silly.
Well, now we're going to talk about Northwest Missouri State. Got a big game with the Bearcats this Saturday. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Time for a new beginning. Time for a new house.
It's time to run.
The time is now.
It's time.
It's time to go. It's a great time.
It's a great time.
Great time.
Great time.
It's a great time to be a Griffin.